Romans 8 verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. As stated yesterday, whether it was my original motive or what I left behind when I finished, all assembled with the goodwill and kindness of one another. Through every screening, make us a group of people full of goodness. If you ask me, what else do I have? In fact, on the whole, on the one hand, it's like I'm being forced into a corner, on the other hand, it comes from a lack of self-satisfaction. And under supernatural circumstances, it caused me to lack, therefore, my path is different from that of the ordinary church. The system of those churches is really on a pedestal. With adequate security measures in place, it will be carried out according to the plan made yearly and monthly. But the Church of Zion did something entirely different. This is the reason why. Because, to this day, Zion is still what others call one word. This means that I will finalize everything alone. So, that allowed me to develop a lot of traits, and allow me to do so. One of them is, as long as God reminds me of every word, I'll live by it my whole life. For example, after I became your pastor, God keeps reminding me, continued to remind me even years later. If you see yourself as a layman, don't look at yourself as an archpriest. Therefore, I have always considered myself a lay believer, strive to be good at the standards that lay believers should have. If I feel like I'm doing something less than a layman, immediately improve. And because I consider myself a layman, so, for every guidance God gives me, I dare to follow. As for the pastors out there, they don't do that at all. They think, I need to take care of my family, if I do this, the church will go out of business. It's not just going to affect my family, everything I've worked so hard to plant and build would be destroyed. What's worse, I have to give up my current benefits, unable to provide buildings and build churches. They don't listen to God. Because they're weighed down by too many things. As for me, since the beginning, I have completely put aside these concerns, because God will not allow me to be dragged down. So, to the average person, these are setbacks. Of course, I knew it was a setback at the time, and make me not entitled to be proud, self-reliant. I don't have the right not to do something. But now, I realize, it's not a setback at all, it's the only thing that gets me through heaven. But the same road, can ordinary people do it? I see the inferiority, the lack of self-worth, the struggle, and hide away and cry, would they choose my path? So God doesn't put everyone in the same situation. For example, it's not feasible to put someone else in my past family upbringing. It requires a certain amount of character, and then, through these experiences, to improve my character. Because, each time the practice, its intensity and difficulty, it's all about my character improvement, which means if I didn't have that kind of character, I wouldn't have done it to this extent, more formal and professional. For example, when my personality was getting better professionally, so, the brothers and sisters also did well in all aspects of order. In this way, when the big trip comes later, that kind of professional, large-scale practice, compared to the old grain storage, the grade has increased. Our scale is quite large, resulting in longer execution times. Nevertheless, all actions are still a day without deviation. True, it was as my character improved, to such an extent and condition, to blaze a trail, even if outsiders wanted to follow our message, they couldn't. There's no way they can do it. In fact, even if I did share the information, they couldn't. Because every week we are changing, in private conversations, I know that a lot of things are changing, so how can they keep up? But when we evolve steps that are both safe and secure, the practice will be announced to the brothers and sisters. But privately, the entire church is significantly overclocked. Especially in the most dramatic moments of change, we don't have time to share. Romans 8 verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Victory when hope is dire. In times of grief, you're my reminder. It's not the end. You take my hand. We hold a special place in your heart. My victory when hope is dire. In times of grief, you're my reminder. It's not the end. Oh, you take my hand. We hold a special place in your heart. For you see our world.